Hi everybody and welcome back to Nellie Ruth Designs. Today we are going to construct what I think is a very simple, I'm going to make a Christmas journal. I'm going to make the cover and I think it's simple. I'm going to try to go slow, do step by step so you think it's just as easy. It'll be just as easy for you as it is for me. I've put a lot of thought into this, a lot of measuring. So I've taken all the hard work out of it for you, and hopefully you can just follow along and make your measurements and write down the dimensions, and you could make one of these journal covers for yourself. This is going to be a two-parter. I will do the right now the spirit is moving me to make the book cover, the journal cover, and I got to go with that. I've been making ephemera, as you can see in my Christmas ephemera videos, and um, I just figured that I'm in the mood. Like I said, the spirit is moving me this way. I'm going to run with this because it's fresh in my mind. I want to do it and I want to share it with you. Sometimes I don't know. I see gals, they show the completed journal and then they will make their video. I'm going to work a little bit backwards. I toyed with the idea, but I think we're just going to work from the ground up with the beginning to end process of making the journal. Then we can put the ephemera in it. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'd love to have you stick around and watch, even if you have to skip through a little bit if you've already familiar with certain things. And for all my returning subscribers, thank you. I appreciate your comments and your likes and your viewing. So this year I decided to make a pink and white, red and white, red and pink Christmas journal. And I wasn't sure if I had the material for the front cover. And I went through my stash and I found this. I thought this was adorable. So this is going to be, I can't tell you where I got this. It looks like it's a fat quarter. I don't know if I did get it at Joann Fabrics. The interior fabric I'm going to be using right here. This is a fat quarter from Joann's. This might be the same. It didn't have anything on it. But I think this is adorable. So I'm going to use that. And the base of the journal, I have to be careful because I don't want to get confused and I don't want to confuse you. I'm going to move my fabrics aside. So I wanted to use, in making this cover, I wanted to use what I have here. I wanted it to be a soft cover. The journals I made for Liz and I for our collaboration, it's a soft cover. It was very easy to make. I do have a video on that. I will link that as well. So I need to write that down because when I promise to link things, sometimes I forget. Link Yo-Yo Journal. Okay. And this is going to be, I think, just as easy. So as you can see, I took a priority mailer. This is 11 5/8 by 15 1/8. Okay. So these are free. You can pick them up in the lobby of your local post office. As you can see, I got this back in May of 2020. So again, it's 11 5/8 by 15 1/8. So what I did was I had this, I opened this up, and I should have done this with you, but I opened it up and it was in its full glory. But what I did was I decided, because I wasn't sure how large I needed to make my pages, and sometimes I just forget. Because I make journals, but I don't make them that often, and the ones I have, ready-made I use. So in order for me to figure out the width of it, I just took a standard piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, because if you use digital downloads, that's what is printed out. I folded it in half, and then I just put it on my envelope. And I wanted to leave, I always like to leave a little bit around the edge, because again, even though this is the center, you're going to, if you do one signature in here, that's fine. Then you can just come right down the center. If you do two signatures, you're going to want to leave a little bit of room. You know, you might want to put one here like this, and then down your center, or you can put one signature just on the other side, which this will probably be a 2-signature journal. So when I stitch it in, I'll sew it in just to the left of the center mark. And then the second one I will sew in, and it will be just to the right. So that should work out just fine. Or I could just do it to the right and then do one on the center. So everything, I'll figure that out when the time comes. That's why this is going to be a 2-parter. So that's how I figured the size on this. And then over here, it's the same. It's 6 inches. All right. So what I did was, where I had figured out the 6-inch mark, I just folded my envelope and I opened up the press and seal, and then I just sealed it down. Okay. So this is going to be the width of the journal. All right. So you can see it's a little bit longer, and I didn't want to cut the bottom. And a lot of times in my journals, I like to have a front and back pocket. So I just, again, measured the bottom here, how much I wanted between there. And I just did a score line right here. So it's 2.5 inches up from the bottom. Okay. And here it's what, 9? Is it 8.5, 9? It's 9 inches. All right. Because your paper is 8.5. So you're going to want to leave at least 1/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom. So then I just scored it and I folded it up. I figured a good spot, 2.5. So this will be my pocket. All right. So when you open it up, I'll have a nice little pocket here. And then when you turn your pages on the back side, I'll have a nice little pocket here. All right. So if you want to take 6, 9, and then your 2.5, okay? And it just folds up into a nice sized little journal. So then I got thinking, because this is pretty flimsy, I wanted a little bit thicker, heavier. So what I did was I went and looked in all of my mom's supplies that I've had, and she had, it's called Warm and Natural Needled Cotton Batting, the perfect soft warm batting for quilts, crafts, and wearable arts. And this is what it's like. It's kind of like your felt, but it's just a nice, warm, cozy, cuddly batting for you make quilts and dolls and whatever. My mom didn't make quilts, but she made a lot of big Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls, and she might have used some of this. I don't really know what she used this for, but I have a ton of it. So I thought, well, this is when I make journals from now on, this is how I really want to make them. So I grabbed that along with a cereal box, because I love to use cereal boxes. This is an oversized cereal box from years and years ago. And I think, does it say if it's family size or gigundo size? But I like to keep my cereal boxes mega. This is the mega box. So what I did here, let's move this aside for a minute. And I'm just going to explain all this, and then we'll start construction. I cut 2 pieces that are 5 by 8. And these I want to put on the front Not going to put it on the inside, but I'm going to put these on the front cover, okay? And then I have two pieces here that are, what these are, this is 8 by 11.5, okay? And then what I want to do, and then I cut them right down so there was nothing hanging over the edge because I don't really want the bulk at the top and the bottom. I'm going to take these and I'm going to just wrap them, okay, like this. And I may stitch these. I may do a double stitch right down here. And then that way it will hold it. I don't know if I want to use glue. You can use glue. And then these both are going to go on my front panel. And you're going to say, well, they're much smaller than what I have here on the surface. And the reason I'm doing that is they will be somewhat centered. The reason I'm doing that is for bulk. So this will be on the front. This one here will be on the back, like this. So this is the front cover. This is the back. So this will be here like this. And the reason that I'm doing it like this is if I decide I want to thread something on the outside here, or I want to stitch once I have my fabric on there, my foot pedal, not my foot pedal, my sewing foot would be able to fit right on here, and I could stitch lace down on here. If I wanted to adhere a cute little piece of hardware from Tim Holtz, I would be able to punch and put the little grommets in there to hold it. It gives me options. Instead of bringing this right over to the end, you can do that. There's really no problem in doing that. But I also want to have space here to sew. So when I do this, you can see that there's enough space in here to easily sew in my signatures, okay? This one here is going to be kind of trial and error. So if I make any mistakes, you're going to learn from me what not to do. And then I will cover, okay, we'll cover the outside. And then on the inside, with my material to cover the front, I have this piece of muslin. And this is 11.5 by 8.5 approximately. This will go right in here like this. And this I will glue down around. We'll do that. When you cut your piece for the inside, you have to make sure that you only have it inside where your signatures are going to be, because you have to remember we're going to be folding this up, all right? And you don't want that extra bulk if you bring your material down here to the end, because we're going to have the front cover material on here. So you want that lightweight cotton, and then you will fold it up, and then you'll have your pocket, and you'll have a nice, just a really nice clean edge for your backdrop and here. All right. I'm trying to think what else. Then what we're going to do is, because I'm not going to want to keep this here, and I'm going to want to cover my raw edges from when I fold my cover over. This is where this secondary piece of material is going to come into play, and I will cut with you another piece of the cereal box. We will cover that with this, and then this will hide all of the raw edges. We'll be able to tuck it right down inside. Maybe even make just a short little panel here, but it will cover up all of the folding and gluing from the front cover. All right. So if it goes as smoothly as I've explained it, that will be great. So let's get started. So I think the first thing I will do, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue to tack this down over on the edge here. Just that amount, because I don't like to run my needle through glue, but I'll be able to get a pretty good tight fit on this, just so it's adhered on here. Okay, so we have that one there. So they're pulled pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a couple stitches right down here just to hold that on. Now, if you do not have a sewing machine, you do not have to do that. Just continue with your glue right along here. I just prefer, now this may be a little too thick for my needle. If it is, I'm going to come back and then we're going to glue these. So these are stitched. I went slow because, I mean, my needle did go through, but I just wanted to go slow. I didn't want anything to break. So those are done. And then what I will do next is I am going to keep this folded like this. You can open it up if you want more room to work in. I just think as far as placement, it might be a little bit easier. Put your seamed side on the inside here. Don't leave this out, because with your cover, you'll have a little bump there. And I think what I will do, I'm going to try to center this, so I do have some extra room on this side. All right. I want to get my other new glue. Oh gosh, here, where is that? Okay. I've got my big boy here. I think this is already opened. Yeah, I had to use this one. So I want to try to finish this one up here. So I'm going to glue this here. Some underneath this flap as well. As long as you get enough on it, you don't have to worry about, like, covering it or painting it on or getting it too close. Whoops, too close to the edge, because this will stick. So we're going to put that right about here. And this is it's going to be a nice soft cover, journal cover. And we'll do it on the back. And I think this is just about used up. I think, well, there's still some in that. I want to get it every inch out, because if I can use it up, I'm going to use it up. I don't want anything to go to waste with the price of everything these days. I am using it up. Get my little fingers under here to get underneath here. Okay. What a gunky mess. Gunky, gunky, gunky. All right. And we're going to take this. And I'm just going to try to feel with my fingers where it is on this side to just try to match it up. And it's very easy to do because it is it does have that relief to it on the back side. There. All right, so we have that glued down. So we have the soft part, which will make up this soft cover on the outside. All right. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to measure. This is the inside. So we're going to put that there. We're going to get our front, our cover piece, okay? And this is measured at 14 by 23 and a half. Now, I don't remember. I'm going to leave that there. So again, 14 by 23 and a half, okay? I do not remember if I have this cut to the book or if I have to take a little bit off. So we're going to open this up, and I'm going to take a little bit off of this because you don't want all the extra excess material. And it looks like I did, at some point, I did take some off. Oh, I took some off the bottom. So this is where you have to be really careful. Do not, if you're going to take extra off, make sure that this flap, if you're making a pocket, your entire book has to be opened up. All right. And it does look like I have made provisions for that. All right. So I'm not going to take any more off of the top and bottom, but I will take some off of the side. And this is where it can get tricky. All right. So the other thing that you have to do, if you're working with a pattern, you know, where you have your birds, I guess it doesn't really matter. Some of the birds are upside down, but if there's a focal point you want to focus on, say you want to take this little center bird, okay, and you feel that this is the right side up because these two little birds are right side up, but then if you flip it, you have these birds that are right side up. So I really don't think it matters with this style, but just make yourself aware of the pattern. So if I want these birds right side up, I'm just going to do it like this and flip it this way, okay? And then this is going to be the pocket area. So once you get I'm going to bring this over a little bit. Once you figure out the right side of your material and so forth, you're going to want to, I like to leave about an inch. So we have you can eyeball, it's about an inch, inch and a half here, inch and a quarter down here at the base. I hope I'm getting it all in. This is big. Inch and a half. So an inch and a half really around the hole. Then you can just do a little mock-up. You're going to fold here. I'm just going to fold this all right in for right now. You're going to fold it up. And again, you just want to kind of see and fold it. All right. So if you feel that you have too many birds upside down here, you can turn your You can just turn it to see if maybe this is better, but I don't think it matters. All right, I'm going to be putting some other things on the front of this. So we are going to then, because I don't want all this bulk on the side, we're going to cut this down. So I'm going to do about an inch. I'm just going to make little marks. Okay. So about 1.5 inches, or 1.25 inches, sorry. 1.25 inches, 1.25 inches, 1.25 inches. And then I will just draw a little line for this coming down. Okay. And then I don't know if you can see that pencil mark. I can. I will just cut this, and then we will cover the front. And when I do a pencil mark, I always go on the outside of it. I never try to, it's going to be hidden. I never try to cut on it. I don't cut on the inside of it. I cut to the right of it. It's just something I do. Just my little mark there. All right. So now we have our front. This will be our material for the front cover. I still kind of want to look at this to see where it's going to be. And if this is my front, this is going to be the front here. I think I might do this side here, just because this little guy is upright and this one is looking down on him. I think I like that. So we're going to go with this. And we're just going to get this centered, okay? And as you know, this is where I have a hard time with my corners, but this is where you're going to make a little cut here. So I just wish there was a way. I mean, you can also, you bring your corners up here, but you don't get a good corner there if you do it like that. And I'm going to use my pinking shears just because and the other thing is I never really know how close to get to your corners. So this is where you may shine better than I do with this part of the construction, because I really do have a hard time with figuring out how far in to cut to my corner. So I just do the best I can. All right, so now we're going to get this glued in, and I guess it doesn't really matter if you start at the top. So this here, yeah. Okay, I'm going to cut this a little bit more, so I guess you can just kind of play with it. So I will do the top here with you and the side, and then I will, because you don't need to see me glue this whole thing down, then I will take a little break. I'll pause. I'm going to put you all on pause, and then I will finish gluing the sides and the bottom, okay? So, because you really don't need, so you get we're going to get this here. And I may even have to cut this in a little bit. I should probably just do this with you. All right. So we can all be nervous together, okay? And I'm going to put my glue right on the edge here. And I just have a thing about gluing the whole piece of material. I just don't like doing it. I don't know why. I think it's because in case I want to sew something. But you can, I mean, you can glue it right up if you want to. And this is why I use pinking shears most of the time, because of the raveling. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to push that up a little bit, make sure that that's snug and secure. And then I think I will do this one on the bottom. So let's see here. And I think I have to bring this in a little bit closer, I think. Because you get that little bit of overhang. I can just tuck that. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And I do think it's helpful to, even though it takes a little bit of time, I do think it's very helpful to see how we all struggle sometimes with these covers. And it's just, for me, it's always trial and error. I'm not the best at putting on my covers, but let's see. Okay, so I'm just wondering if I should, this is going to have to come up a little bit more here. Just don't want to take so much off that all of a sudden, that's good, I don't have enough on the end. And then I'm going to be like, oh gosh, I messed the whole thing up. So you just have to make a little, sorry if my hand's in the way, but this is really the only way I can do it to keep it tight and taut. All right. Okay, so I'm going to work from the bottom up, and then I'll work on the sides. All right. And I'm not going all the way over, you can see. To the corner. Okay. And then see, you'll have a nice clean edge when we fold that up for for our pocket. All right, and then we are going to do this side here, which I will fold in. So can you see, am I still in view? So this I'm just going to tuck in like this and fold that up. I think this will work fine. Make a little dart in the corner here. That's what I'm doing. That is what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'll make a little, just making a little dart there. All right. Okay, so that will go like that. Take my little scissors here, kind of fold that in. And then while I'm preparing the other side, I'm just going to take a couple of these little guys and I'm going to clamp. I'm going to clamp these down here, and I'll do one here. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to clamp those like that. And we're going to turn this around and we will do the same thing. I'm going to make just a little dart there. Hold that down. I'm just going to hold that with a little dart just for a minute while I fiddle around the other edge here. I have to turn it because I'm right-handed, so I have to do everything right side up for me. So just make that little dart like you're working on a Christmas gift. All right, I'll put that because these are tiny. I'm just going to clamp that. And then let's get the glue. All right, that's good. On the ends here. Oh, try to be careful, and then okay, we're just going to fold that there. Fold that there like a little Christmas gift. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put a couple little clamps on here. I'm going to go and wash my hands and get this excess glue off of here because I do not want to get it on the muslin that I'm putting on here. So yeah, so here is our cover so far. And I think that'll be really cute. It's nice and soft. So let me go wash my hands. I will be right back and we will finish up. Okay, so I got a little overzealous, but I think you'll be able to follow along. So I decided that we are going to use, because I'm including you, I have this really pretty red rickrack. I just love rickrack at Christmas. And I have the real pretty pink. So both of these go wonderfully with the cover. And then I did pull this sweet little bit of lace. And not lace, it's just, I don't know, it looks like a little type of seam binding, decorative seam binding. And I'm going to be using that on the cover and on the inside. So what I did is as you can see, I stitched on here really close, tight stitch right here on the edge of where our pocket is going to be. And I didn't, hold on, just bear with me here. I got to pull my thread through if I can see it in this light. You know me with my threads, I like to pull them through and tie them off. I don't like to just clip them. So as you can see, I stitched on the little, I call it a candy stripe. Hold on, I can't think and talk. I can chew gum and walk, but I can't think and talk at the same time. I have this all stitched on, and I just love the look. I think it's very cute. It's very festive, this piping. And I'm glad I grabbed my Christmas goodies that I've been hanging on my little display area there. Okay, so those are all tied up. Yeah, so that way when you bring your thread through, you don't have any threads hanging on the side here. And then you can see that I did stitch the side. So this is nice and sturdy. I didn't want to glue it. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can use your glue. What I would suggest is you glue it down and then you clamp it and let it sit overnight. Don't be overzealous like sometimes I am. Clip it, clamp it down, let it set overnight, let it dry really good, and then come back and finish off your piece. The other thing that I did was, and this is where it comes in really handy. Remember we talked about having, you know, some extra space around here. This is really nice and padded. It's just a lovely little journal cover. It's soft, but again, it gives you, you can see here, it gives you that little bit of extra space, that 1/2 inch all the way around where you can go and sew all around it. I'm not sewing on the bottom because if I sew on the bottom, it's going to limit my space, and I want to be able to tuck things right down inside this pocket. So that's why I'm not stitching on the bottom. So what I should have done first, I should have stitched all the way around just to the bottom, sewn my little item, my little tubing on here. Then before turning this up, I should have glued this down, or if you want to stitch it down, you can stitch it down. The one good thing with this being a little bit smaller, haha, see, you can still tuck it inside, and it fits in there just as if I were to stitch this down or glue it down before. So no harm, no foul. That just coincidentally worked out. If you have, if you get a little overzealous like I did, and you go and you stitch, and your inner muslin or whatever you're going to use is a little too wide, you can always cut it down. However, just make sure that you have enough of your outside exterior fabric here. Might be a good idea to bring maybe another 1/2 inch, another inch over, make a little bit wider. So if this does happen to you, you can actually cut this down a little bit more and have a little wider border here if you don't mind doing that. But this worked out fine. I'm not concerned about this not, you know, fitting in right. Now what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to glue the bottom in here. I'm just going to glue all of this right around here, and I'm going to do it by just turning this down because it's right in place where I want it. Then I'm just going to glue everything. I will not be gluing. I'll glue up to where you can feel the padding, but I don't want to glue really in here because I'm going to be using this to stitch in my signatures. So I'm just going to run right here and kind of feel that there. And then I'll get this here all glued in the middle. And then instead of guessing where this is going to be, can you see that there? I'm going to glue right here along this and flip it up. And I'm just taking the guesswork out of this. Okay, and then I will just gently flip this up here. When I've made my other journals, I've used a lot of cereal boxes, pasta boxes. I'm getting to the point where I really enjoy this style journal jacket or cover or whatever you want to call it. Of course, if you're going to have a 4 or 5 signature journal, then you're going to have to use a pasta box or make this a little bit bigger, and then you'll put your cardboard strip down here as to how you want to put your journal, your signatures in. All right, so this is glued down really well. And again, I'm not worried about this bottom part not being glued. I'm not going to have anything where it's going to catch the bottom and it's going to come up. So there, so far, is our jacket, our book. So what I want to do next is I'm going to take this sweet little I'll call it rickrack because it's kind of like rickrack on the bottom, isn't it? And I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue this right to the bottom here across like this. So I'm going to glue this because I think that would be really cute there. And again, my signatures will come right down through here. Again, I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't just make a breaking point. And let's see, because if I have that going across, I could do a few more little holes here to really hold that signature, and I could put one there. I think that might be okay. Usually you decorate your jacket after you get your, I'm going to put that right to the end, after you get your signatures in, but I want to get this all done and then put my signatures in. My thing off here. Sorry. Little MIA right here in the middle of the video. I'm just really wondering if I shouldn't break this. I'd really like to put that across though. I'm going to break this, however, so maybe I will break that. Maybe I will. So as much as I'd like to have that go across, let's see. Let's do it here. Just want to see here. Now, I'd still like to run it all the way across. And I think I'm going to start here and come this way with it. So let me run a, I'm not even going to put any glue in that section again, because that's where I'm going to be putting in my signature. So I'm just feeling where the break is here. And then that way, if I have to cut it, it doesn't work out, once I get my signatures in, I can trim that. So I'm going to start right here and work our way out. And all of this inside work, again, you don't have to do it prior to putting your signatures in. You can most definitely do it afterwards. I need a little scrap. I should have grabbed a little Clorox thing for my hands with this glue. Yeah, and then by not gluing that down, it is a little bit easier to fold as well. See that? So I'm going to leave it, and then that's where I can put one of the little signatures. So that's free right here. See where there's a little, that's just open right there, okay? Right through there. I'm leaving that open. Little tuck spot. Isn't that cute? All right, and then I'm going to, because I want to put this rickrack on the front here. It's tangled up with the red. I don't want to start this here. I want this to be solid coming around like this, okay? I will most likely do this top and bottom because I want it to match. And hopefully I will have enough. So before I do that, let's just make sure, because that would be terrible, wouldn't it, if I didn't have enough to do on the bottom as well? All right, so that would end there like that. So we're just going to double it up, and it does look like I have enough to do the top and bottom. Okay, so always measure before you. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to leave this right about here. So let's get this glued on here. And I'm just going to come right below my little where I cut the material with my pinking shears. So if you're still with me here and hanging out, I just hope you're all well. Everybody in my husband's office is getting sick. Their children, a lot of them have little children under the age of 5. They're all getting this nasty, nasty cold. And of course, my son got it. And it started out with him. My son's over 5. You can add 20 years to that. But he works in the office, and I just think that he got it from some of the employees. Their children are so sick. With really bad colds, ear infections, you name it, they're getting it. It's that time of year for kids to get sick. So my son, he's been home and not feeling the greatest. It's just awful to have a cold and stuffy noses and sneezing, itchy throat. And just take your time when you're gluing your rickrack down. There's no need to rush or okay, we're going to cut this right about here. And do I have enough for there? I measured, I thought I did. I have just enough. Perfect. Okay. And remember, if your top, when I say your top doesn't match on the inside after you cut and do all of your, let me just show you instead of explaining it, because I don't want to. So when I say your top doesn't match, I guess if your top part here doesn't match and come all the way across, don't worry about it, because remember, you're not going to be looking at it like this. You're going to have your signatures in there. And this is a mess, so I'm just going to clip this a little bit because that's the end. You're going to have your signatures in there, which is going to be just fine, okay? Because it won't be open. Say, oh, well, you know, one's a little bit higher than the other. Don't sweat. Don't sweat that, okay? Just make sure you have enough to. And see, now by this, doing it the way I'm doing it, you don't have a raw edge on the outside. It's all nice and clean, and you're good to go. Isn't that cute? This is going to be the sweetest little journal. And then we will do the same on the bottom here. So we'll have a top and bottom to this. And I think what I will do is I'm going to start on this side. I guess I'll start maybe on this side, just like I did before. So I'm just going to clean this up just a little bit here. And then we're going to glue to here. Yeah, and then we'll pull some papers. I have a few papers that I'll use in here. Christmassy. That I already have. I may find some others. I want to use some of my scrapbooking paper that I think might be fun, that I normally wouldn't use on a scrapbook page, but it would be really cute in the journal here. Oh, there's the sun. It's been kind of a funky day here, very gloomy and overcast. I got my messy jeans on. I should have my hands are going to be a mess again though from this glue. Oh my God, you're right here. See that sun coming through? Oh, kind of wish the sun wasn't out so it doesn't mess with my video. Okay, this here. All right. This is really cute. Get this here. We'll finish up this rickrack, and then I think we'll be good to go. And I'm going to show you what I would like to do on the inside, on the muslin end of it. And I want to talk to you about a closure for this because I think I'm going to need a little bit of a closure. Because I think it's going to be a little fat one, like these cute little birdies. And we can just cut this here. I love this. Oh, it just reminds me of Christmas, ribbon candy, and oh, it's just so cute. Okay, there we go. Good. All right, we'll bring that across. Just try not to get too much glue. All right, and then I will let this book sit overnight. I'll lay it out flat like this, and it will dry. And then what I'd like to do in here, and I'm going to wait until this is all dried to get to the inside. I'm thinking of using, dividing this off with the red, or just putting, I really like this too, adding a little bit of red rickrack here possibly. The other thing I do, I might get some of my wispy mesh netting and put the mesh netting inside. And then I have all of these really pretty cutouts from Tsunami Rose. And I think I just may decorate. Look at, there's candy canes. We've got Christmas cookies. We have a really cute little envelope. Christmas bells. So we will decorate the inside of this once we get the signatures in here, because I may take the very first signature and maybe do a You know, you've got your page here, and then maybe, you know, maybe this would be nice, like wouldn't this be cute to have a gingerbread recipe there? And then I think there's a gingerbread. I know there's a gingerbread man in here. And the first page could be a gingerbread um, cookies with some hot chocolate. Oh, I'm going to love this journal. So yeah, so I'm going to wait. We'll get the signatures in, and then we will do the front, we will do the back, and we will get it all decorated and put some fun items down here in the pockets. So that is today's video. I'm sorry it's a little bit longer than probably it should have been. The next time we will add, and maybe when I come back, I'll even have a little, again, it's great because if I want to do a nice pink tulle bow on here, I can sew it on here because I have the space. So yeah, I'm getting really excited about this project. So I want to thank everybody for joining in, and I will see you in part 2. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know if you think this would be an easy project for you, if I explained it well enough. Um, you know, make sure my directions were clear. And oh, I just think it's so cute. So I will see you in part 2. We'll be doing the signatures, the front and the back page. All right, everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye.